Alright, so most of this tree, I can only use 3/4 of it for planting the shiitake mushrooms on them. The sapwood is the light colored wood that's on these. So there's quite a bit of sapwood on them. So even the halves that I have, there'll be plenty of tree there for the shiitakes to grow on. Probably not the best trees. These are ash. From what I understand, white oak or red oak are probably the best trees to grow shiitakes on. I don't have any of that around here. So I'm using these ashes that were lightning strike trees because they're going to die anyways. And we're down by the creek. So I'm going to keep these down by the creek because in the summer it gets really dry and hot here. And one of the things I'll have to do is put them in the creek and let them, you know, soak up some water and keep the condensation and the moisture in them. That being said, from what I understand, you don't want to soak them in a creek or a stream more than 12 hours. So you got to have less than 12 hours would be your best bet, I guess. So anyway, I'm cutting these up. There's 2 more trees behind me. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 8 logs out of this one tree, 8 logs. And I should be able to get more out of this tree. And probably 8 more out of that tree, is my guess. So close to 30 logs maybe is what I'll end up with. And I think that'll be pretty adequate for the shiitake sawdust spawn that I have, which we'll be doing this spring. So we'll come back down here, I'll set it up, and I'll show you how I put sawdust spawn in these. You know, it turned out pretty good. I mean, it's a little wavy, but I'm going to put it on the mill and finish it off anyway, so that's not a big deal. Big log, huh, Sage? Big log. Let's see if Papa can roll this. I don't need you right here, though, okay? I need you back over there. Come over here, Sage. Good morning, folks. So I thought I would finish off this video talking about my plans for my next cabin build. So I drew them up here. I'll show them to you in a second. It's going to be a 1-bedroom. It will have a loft in it for storage only, and it will have a cellar in it. The cellar I didn't draw up. I'm going to just start digging that more central on it. 480 square feet. So I'm going to build the cabin 20 foot by 24 foot, and that's the perimeter of the cabin, not including the overhang. I'm going to do a full walk around porch, I think, is what I want to do. I want to do either a 4 or 5 foot overhung covered porch all the way around the cabin. So I'll go ahead and show you the plans I drew up. Now I drew these up, they're kind of generalized. I didn't accommodate for the window casings that I'm going to put in for the windows. I just went with the window sizing. So every square on here equates to 6 inches. So that way I could, like my sink for example, I knew how big it was, so I went ahead and drew in where it's going to go. Okay, so I thought I would show you the layout I drew up. Hopefully you can see this okay. So I've labeled the walls A, B, that's for the long sides, C and D for the short ends. So to start with, A wall here is going to have a kitchen and a bedroom off of it. I'm going to put a small window over the kitchen area here and a large window over the kitchen on the C wall side. And the kitchen consists of a little bar right here with a fridge next to it. My wood cooking stove is going to go right in here. And my counter that you can sit at as a bar, I guess, will have a sink in it. I'm keeping my sink central. So when I do the bathroom over here, the sink's going to be somewhere in this vicinity so that it's in line with this pretty much. But anyways, back to the bedroom here. I'm going to put a large one window in the bedroom is all. I would like to have a second one in. I can always do that later. I only have 3 large windows and two smaller windows, and the small windows are pretty large too. So anyways, the door for the bedroom is going to be right here, so you can just walk in the door at the front door on this side, and if you had to go straight to the bedroom, it's just an easy walk right around the counter here. Bathroom, I have a small window in it. Then you got the living room right here. It's going to have a large window here and French doors here. I'm going to build, and I want to get some glass for those and see if I can find some double pane glass to put in. If I can't, I'll just do single pane. But being it's down on the lower level, these are all double pane windows, so I'd like to keep that double pane too. And so the living room's pretty good sized. All these little squares, each one stands for 6 inches. The perimeter that's drawn in here is the footprint of the cabin itself, not including the porch. I want to do a walk around porch around this. I'm thinking 4 or 5 foot porch all the way around it that's covered. And I went ahead and for each wall, like this is a wall for example, I drew out the beams on here so I knew the breakdown of if I want to go ahead and cut beams for material reasons, so I don't go cutting down more trees just to come up with full length ones that I can cut down to size for the window openings. I went ahead and calculated my window beams that I got to do. I calculated full length beams on here that I need to do, and it looks like I need 6 24 foot beams, but I want to add 2 feet to the beams because I'm going to have, they're going to go across the 6-inch beam that's going the other direction, plus I wanted extra sticking out so I can cut them off. Maybe I want a 1-inch overhang, maybe I want a 2-inch overhang or a 3-inch. Well, I give myself an extra foot or 6 inches per end, I should say, a foot overall to work with and get that done. So anyways, I got the breakdown of all the beams I need to cut. Like this A wall, I need 6 24 footers plus 2 feet, so 26 footers. Some of these only need like on this end and this end, they just need one foot added to those. So I need 2 8-footers plus a foot. I need 3 4-footers plus a foot. And then I need 3 5-footers in the middle here. And of course, no extra measurement on those. And all of these are going to get shortened anyways because I've got to put in my framing that's going to be able to slide up and down with the shrinkage of the wood. So hopefully that's clear. I did that for each wall. Every wall's got a drawing, and I know how I'm going to put the stuff in. It gives me a guide. Now this is not written in stone, none of it. It is just specifically something to give me a guide. So I know what I'm doing when I cut all these beams here coming up real shortly. I'm starting right now, in fact. And then I just went ahead and I figured out my square footage. It's going to be 480 square foot. And then I took my beams and I wrote down quantities as a total and sizes, so I know exactly what I've got to cut. And that includes the extensions that I needed. I know kitchen dimensions, I know bedroom dimensions, living room. So for example, the kitchen's going to be a 12-foot 6-inch by 10-foot 6-inch kitchen. The bedroom, that's 11-foot by 11-foot. My living room is going to be 16-foot by 9-foot. The bathroom 7-foot and 6 inches by 8-foot and 6 inches. And then windows that I'm using are pretty good size. The large windows are 41 3/4 inches wide and 51 3/4 inches tall. The smaller windows are the same width, the 41 3/4, but they're only 35 3/4 inches high, so just about 3 foot high. So, and I've got my doors are planned out, so they're going to be 30 inches wide by 75 inches tall, and it's going to be the same for the French doors. I'm going to do the same thing with those. So I've been pretty excited to get to work on this. So I've been drawing up these plans off and on this winter, and I think this is probably my 4th rendition. And I brought it down from 650 square foot or whatever, because mainly these beams are going to be awful heavy, and I don't have a lot of trees around the area. I'm putting it in an opening. So I'm going to have to get creative because the tractor's not going to be able to, as I get higher, I start hitting probably 5 foot, it's probably going to get tipsy on the tractor. So I'm going to probably create ramps and then pull those up with hand crank winches or something like that. I'll figure it out when I get to it. So I'll have to get somewhat creative because I'm going to be building this all by myself. So thank you for watching my video today. I appreciate it. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. I hope you'll stick around for the cabin build that's going to be coming up in the future. I can't say exactly when, but I got a lot of prep work to do, and I hope you'll stick around to watch the prep work as I get going on that. And you'll see in this video earlier that I started working on some of the beams out in the forest. I started milling some wood off of them so that I could get them a little smaller diameter, so it'll be easier for me to pull them out with a tractor. And hopefully it'll take a little bit of weight off, not much, I know, because I'm taking off just the minimum amount, because I can get boards out of these as I start cutting them on my main mill. So, and I'm trying to keep these logs as long as I can so I can cut as many of them in full length as possible. And then I'll start labeling them and storing them for A, B, C, D wall. That way it will be easier for me to go to a pile and I know what wall I'm working on, and each time I can pick logs from each pile for each wall that I'm going to do. That way I don't run short on some lengths by cutting something that was longer. So I'll get it all calculated out and figured out. That stuff will get to dry a little bit after I've cut it, and then I got to cut more wood down. I got to plan out the foundation, which has to be obviously the framework to it has to be built first. But initially, we're going to get that ground level up there. I'm going to use my tractor for that. And then I'm going to hand dig, because I don't have a backhoe or anything for my tractor. So I'm going to go ahead and hand dig the cellar. And I'll get that figured out. I'd like to have it about 10 foot wide and probably at least 14 feet long would be nice. I think that'd give me a good cellar down below. And then I got to dig to plumb to it, and I've got to get a tank to drop in there because I want to put my water down there so it won't freeze in the winter.